Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Skills for Mars Transitions podcast. This is a new episode, and I'm hosting today Andrei. And of course, we're going to talk about change. Andrei, welcome to the Skills for Mars Transitions.
Hi. Hey, Jules.
Hi.
Thanks for inviting me. And I'm looking forward to seeing what comes up out of this.
It's my pleasure to host you because I really, we've spoken about it. I really like your career as an entrepreneur and the kind of changes you've been through. So I'm kind of looking forward to go through your story and through your journey and see what has worked, what hasn't worked, and share that with everyone.
Okay.
Cool. Before we go into the details, like I do with everyone else, would you be okay to just share a bit your journey, where you started, where you are right now, maybe a bit about the changes that you've been through, and then we will go into the details as we progress.
Okay. I guess my first entrepreneurial story became when I was in college. This is when I launched my first company, and we were doing computer parts and network cabling for companies. I was a student, and it was more of a hustle, let's say, than a company. But we didn't know anything. We didn't know anything about business. We didn't know about anything about accounting, cash flows, financing the business. Everything was bootstrapped, and it was interesting because I don't know. We had projects where we were definitely not prepared for those. We were understaffed. Actually, we were two guys, and we were taking contracts and deadlines that were absolutely unrealistic. And we also found ways to deliver. We were hiring 20 students with something that was like beer money, and they were all working, some of them without any kind of paperwork, of course. And but we were finishing the job usually in time. Um,
Was it cabling for IT systems or
it was network cabling.
network cabling?
We did a business, an office building in 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like 7,000 meters of cable, and we didn't know anything about it before that, and we did everything by the deadline, and it was, but again, it was a hustle. It wasn't, I don't know, the everyday routine of with procedures and stuff like this, like you do in a business, in a regular business. After that, I got hired uh, for the distributor of Apple products here in Romania, and I was in charge of logistics for them, and they needed to keep the warehousing and stuff like this. And after 3 months, I realized it wasn't efficient to have a logistic managers, and it was much easier for them to just externalize everything to a warehouse. So I basically lost my job by myself. I lost my job because there was no point. It was much more efficient for the company to have an external warehouse. But they were friendly enough, and they offered me another position, so I entered in sales. Apple was going for the educational vertical
Mm-hmm.
in Eastern Europe, and at first I handled education for Romania for a couple of years, I think, and after that, the group that the distributor was part of, they promoted me to a regional manager. I was in charge, I think, of about 10 countries. I traveled a lot. That was the time when I realized I don't like traveling that much because I was basically living out of a suitcase for half a year. Um, then it was 2008. It was the crisis in US. We were doing huge increase year by year with Apple, and that was the first year when I said this is not going to be the same the next year. We were doing 300% increase year over year, and management got used to that, and they were expecting that. And, that's when I told them that if we do 25% increase, we're lucky. They said I'm a bit of a pessimist and we should reevaluate. And I said I'm not going to choose a bigger target than this. Uh, I think they did 23% next year, and retail went 200% under because the wave reached Europe, and yeah.
So they gave you a promotion, I hope, because it's
No,
good to have someone predicting exactly what's going to happen to the business.
Yeah, I moved from the education market, the education vertical to corporate and government. And I was in charge more or less of partnerships and alliances, and trying to influence some decisions in our favor, let's say. After 6 months, I realized I'm much more comfortable working with corporate than with government. Because I don't know, some interactions were not really my cup of tea. And although I'm not a corporate guy, I do appreciate structure and the structure that's in the company. Sometimes it's a bit too much bureaucracy, but I do appreciate that more than what's happening in the public sector.
Domain, yeah.
Yeah. In this whole period, I also had different startups that I was involved in. Some had nothing to do with IT, like an Italian restaurant for 2.5 years, or a transport company, or AR and VR startup.
And right now, so you gave up, I think, Appcom, right? About 2015, if I'm right. But then, so. And then all the other companies were
as a consultant.
Okay, all the other companies are your own companies.
Yeah, all the other companies are my companies. Yeah.
What's the latest that you've started?
Well, in 2012, I started iTrade with my business partner. We are doing only business to business, system integration, sub-distribution of Apple products, because we knew this. We basically target the telcos, banks, and large corporations. And last year, under the same umbrella of the same company, we started a new project called My Benefits, which is a loyalty platform, an incentive platform. We built from scratch because we also decided that we should have a different kind of revenue stream other than moving boxes, because we don't see moving boxes going way too far from now on.
Is there a common thread that connects between the companies, between all the ventures that you've started, all the ideas that you've had?
I don't know if some of them are connected. Some of them are connected. I mean, in this last two, we definitely use the suppliers that we have from iTrade. It's definitely helpful in this company. We use the same financing lines. We have the logistics here. We have employees that we can shift from one project to another if needed in that at a certain time. So yeah, it helps. We also have the connections that we can use.
Is there any common thread for you? Why you've started one, gave up another?
Curiosity.
Okay.
And I sometimes get really excited about an idea, and I start writing stuff down, and I start building it up, and I try to find why I shouldn't do it. And if I can't find enough reasons why I shouldn't do it, and I'm still excited by the end of the process. I'm usually starting it. Yeah.
Okay. So how many have you had in parallel?
Usually two, maximum three,
Mm-hmm.
because I realized that in time I usually just kept with two because you cannot be involved in three. It's way too complicated to manage. You're gonna do a poor job in all of three.
Because I
But
wanted to ask how many hours does it take a day? It takes more than a day in one usual day to run all of them and all the people.
it depends. If you have a good team, then it's much easier. And if you have a good team that's self-managing, and we're looking for people that they don't need to be micromanaged. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
people that understand what you want to do, that understand that you'll offer them all the help that they need at any time, and they can do the goals and to reach the goals in whatever way they think it's best. So yeah, I do rely a lot on the people that we work with, and
You
I
said
do not want, and I no longer put so many hours, and I don't ask that from anybody else, like employees. Yeah,
did any of the businesses fail?
oh yeah, definitely.
What made them fail
I
as
am. I
related to
am.
you?
Well, let's get this thing clear.
Mhm.
I am not a successful entrepreneur. I am just an
Okay,
entrepreneur.
okay. But it usually said that you need to have at least 10 businesses that will fail to become really successful, right? That's the
Yeah, I
average
heard that.
apparently in the industry.
I I don't know. Like we had businesses that failed. We had businesses that just slowly died because I don't know, the market or something changed, and in time the margins decreased, or the market shrinked, or there was way too much competition, and you decide to kill it or to let go. It's very important when you're doing this not to get too emotionally attached to something. It's yeah, a lot of people end up failing badly because they don't know when to stop. Uh, yeah, and being so curious usually helps me have different backup ideas in the pipeline so that we can implement more or less. Yeah.
Is it important to have backup ideas, or was it important for you to have backup ideas so you don't freeze in panic that, hey, it's going to die, there's no revenue, what am I going to do?
I think so. I mean, it helped me. I think the fact that I thought of stuff like this, and I was thinking, and I would sometimes had some ideas that I couldn't implement because I didn't have time and energy to do them, but they were at the back of my mind. That yeah, that helped because you can start over with something new and you get excited again. And but yeah, there are a lot of people that they cling on what they had. I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, and they they refuse to adapt maybe, and they're doing stuff like they did 10 years ago, and probably it worked. And it's very complicated to get out of that comfort zone and take risks again and start something new. And
So, how are you doing it? Because that's the whole purpose of this discussion. How do you manage to get out? You know it's failing, you know it's going to die.
yeah,
You still put your heart and soul into the business. You know you have to kill it, or that, yeah, it's just going away. So, how do you get the strength and courage to just move on, invest more money, invest more time, and move to something new?
I don't know. I know IKEA had a commercial with an old lamp that was out in the rain, and there was a I don't know, close up on it, and it looked like it was crying, and it was looking inside the apartment of where it lived before, and there was a brand new lamp in its place, and the commercial ended with, "It's just a lamp." it's a business. You don't get attached to it. You shouldn't get attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a person. It doesn't have feelings. It's only you in your head. You get attached to it, and again, you get to do something new. And that's exciting.
You failed several times, or it just died several times.
Yeah.
The third time, the fourth time, how are you still saying, hey, it's going to be exciting? Most probably at some point it's going to die, which is the case with most of the businesses nowadays.
Most of the business, yeah. I don't know.
What makes you stand up? Is it, I don't know. Say, I'm going to do it one more time.
With this one, we started in 2012. Since I started this company, I've been involved with 2 other startups. When I was in US, and another one when I came back to Bucharest, and both of them failed. One because of startup drama, the other one because at the end of the day there was no market for our product. Although we invested time, energy, money, and a lot of excitement. But yeah, it's like a game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't see myself as a career man. I don't really care what's on my LinkedIn profile to, I don't know, I don't need to advance to anything else. I'm definitely not making that LinkedIn account so I can get a job somewhere, because I don't think I'll be very happy in a corporate environment. That's my feeling right now. I've been on my own for maybe too long, and it's created a different mindset for me. But I don't know. It's having iTrade, for instance, for so long and keeping it going. It's you have something you have something rooted, and yeah, when you find something that's even better, maybe you invest more time, and energy, and money into the other one.
Were there any lessons you've learned from the failures you've had in entrepreneurship? Something that helped you build better businesses, make better decisions?
I think after each one, there was a lesson. First, it's good to have a plan at the beginning, but from experience so far, that plan helps just to start the business, because most of the time the reality hits you really hard, and you have to pivot and be very, very adaptable to change and have quick reactions. Otherwise, if you think that the plan is the way to go, you have less chances of succeeding, from my point of view. We learned a lot about finance, about insurance, about keeping everything safe. So you don't die if, I don't know, your company dies if you have a client that doesn't pay on time or stuff like this. So yeah, we learned a lot. We learned that the team and the people are very, very important, and the chemistry with your shareholders, it's crucial. Because if it's a very good idea and everybody's enthusiastic, but some people refuse to work, or they have, let's just say, not so much flexibility in their approach, you're going to have a lot of drama, and a business can go on with this.
So I guess you're looking for pretty much spirits, people that are entrepreneurs themselves as well, or understand this kind of idea, because they have to pivot with you. and they have to understand the change and the transformation that they have to go through.
Yeah. Usually I'm really enthusiastic about what I'm thinking, and when I'm pitching the idea. So yeah, people usually get on board. Most of the time, people get on board with this. But again, there are times when egos may intervene in both ways, and stuff doesn't end up well.
When are you getting afraid? Are there any fears when you start new, when the business is ongoing? When do you ever have this feeling?
I think you have, at least I have more fears when the business is ongoing than when I start. Because when I start, I'm I'm really fast changing lanes if needed. But when you have everything in place and there's a business that has its routine and you just want to improve it and just grow it piece by piece, then a major change brings the shock, and it's from my point of view, it's more scary than happens at the beginning of the journey, let's say.
Tell me about your successful businesses. How did you know they were or they were going to be successful?
Okay, I didn't know with any of them. We just realized at one point, and I mean, it depends what you want from it. What do you want from work? What do you want? What's your satisfaction? Do you need to get more money? Do you need recognition? Or do you need free time that you can buy with the money that you make? I was not an avid growth hacker, let's say, because that comes with a lot of involvement in time and energy. And you lose something that I think it's more important. You lose time and you lose yourself in life, yeah. And I think you must keep your life separate from work. I mean, work, you do it because you have to do it, more or less, but it shouldn't be the purpose of your life. I mean, I don't think I should, and I don't know, I identify myself as what I'm doing. I would be changing my personality a lot. And no, that doesn't
work for you.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me.
Okay. So how at some point you did realize that businesses were successful, right?
Yeah.
Did you stay with them? Did you move on to a new one? Because somehow I get the feeling that you are happy with the beginnings.
I like beginnings, yes. Well, with the latest project, I decided, because I have a very good relationship with my partner, and we are, we have mixed skills that go well together. I decided we should start businesses inside our company. This is why we started this project, which is completely different. We're doing software development and services, and it's definitely nothing that has to do with what we're doing right now as a main activity. Mm-hmm. But I pitched to him, and if together we can find any reasons, because I always, and he always pitches to me when he has an idea, because we're both afraid of the blind spots that we have. And if both of us can see the blind spots, then we're okay. And we have different type of, aversion to risk or love taking risks. I like taking risks more, and sometimes and somehow he's balancing me somehow, so I don't go in on something that should be done. And yeah, we're trying to invest using this company, and even though we are hiring people as employees, we believe in entrepreneurship somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's motivated to do their job, and they're compensated, let's say, as if they were a shareholder in the company. We provide the infrastructure, the management, the financing, and they just do their jobs. And if we win, we all win. And it's ongoing.
You told me about your partner and the fact that together you see each other's blind spots.
Yeah.
How important, did you have the same partner, sorry, for a long time? Or
I think
you have different
with
partners?
him I've had the longest relationship. We started our first business in 2004, and one way or another we've been involved in several businesses together.
How important is it for you to have someone to bounce ideas off?
Very important, because otherwise you're creating a story in your head which may not be very realistic at one point, and you need the harsh truth. I mean, you don't need people kissing your ass and telling you this is a great idea. I can't wait for you to do it, and let us know how it works. And that's definitely not helping in any way.
You can go to your family and they can say the same.
Yeah, and exactly. Yeah, but I always prefer direct input, even if it's negative, even best if it's negative. Yeah.
Okay. Are there, because I've asked you about lessons that you've learned for businesses that didn't go well, are there lessons that you've learned from businesses that were successful?
Yeah, patience. You have to have patience from my point of view. I don't believe in overnight success. Like you see in, I don't know, Silicon Valley, that there's one company that explodes in 2 years and it becomes billions in valuations and stuff like this. This is, probably why they're called unicorns. But 99% of the businesses, it's a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of time to build and to do repetitive work, let's say.
I guess that's why you like the beginnings, right?
Probably, yeah.
So I've heard that you like structure, planning, but planning which is flexible.
Yeah.
You like patience, right? Bouncing idea of someone, so having someone you trust. Are there any other skills, knowledge, behaviors that you rely on when you either start or develop a business, that you know that, hey, these are the top, what I need, and to get it going?
Don't be afraid. Don't have to be afraid. I mean, last time when we were in Amsterdam, I found something in I don't know, it was in a bar or something, and it said your comfort zone will kill you. Yeah, your comfort zone will kill you. So what's the worst thing that can happen if you start something new?
Well, you can fail.
You can fail, yeah, and you can start again. Maybe you'll fail again and again, and you can't be failing for the rest of your life. I mean, that would be really sad, but usually that doesn't happen. At one point, you do learn something, and
hopefully
you
yes.
succeed. Yeah, and you succeed, and you move forward.
How do you, because you fail, right? You say have the courage and then you'll fail, and maybe you'll fail 2 times, 3 times, 4 times.
Yeah.
How do you manage the relationship with your friends, with your family, that might at some point, or you might think that they see you as a failure, or they might actually even see you as a failure? Did that ever happen to you? How did you manage that? No.
I just tell them, this is it. We're closing that. We're starting something new.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's a matter
something
more
that
of how
again,
you present it.
You're creating that, I don't know, the need for confirmation from others in your head. I mean, if they're not involved in the business, why would you care?
Some people do care, and then for us, because we are social beings, a lot of the people actually care about what the rest of the world says. Are they seen as a failure, or are they seen as really successful?
Yeah,
And
I
that
think
sometimes might stop them for really starting something new, or just getting up and moving on.
I don't know. I think for me, the ability of having this kind of freedom to be my own boss and to take my decisions and to see where those lead me, it's more important than having I don't know, a safe social profile, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with failing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can hear it. You like risk.
yeah,
You're okay with failing.
yeah. Again, I don't think everybody should do it if they're not comfortable with
Mm-hmm.
this. Uh, but change is good. From time to time, change is good. And I was talking to somebody a couple of days ago. And there are a lot of people in corporate environments that you see they're not okay there. They're not happy there. I mean, there's so many layers of middle management that don't know what's their purpose in life. I mean, what are they doing there? I mean, that's that's sad.
It is
Take a
very.
leap, take a leap, do something else, try something else. I don't say that you can be whatever you want and you can do whatever you think, because that's not realistic. I mean, you cannot all be astronauts, and I don't know, it doesn't work like that. Try to do something that you enjoy at least somehow, or that gives you some satisfaction. A lot of people, you know, they go to work with absolutely no satisfaction at all. That's sad.
It is, because usually in big corporations, because in smaller companies, I think it's a bit different. You're a part of something, but in
Yeah,
bigger corporations, especially in this matrix environment where everyone has two bosses and the two bosses have four bosses and so on, and everyone is somewhere in middle management, they get lost. The message gets lost. The meaning gets lost. So you wake up every morning and you go and you're a mouse in a wheel, and that's it.
exactly. Yeah.
Nothing else. Nothing else happens. So let's say someone wants to start a business. Would you say that they need certain amount of money to start it? Would they need a sort of a backup? What happens? What would you tell someone that says, yeah, I'm going to take a leap. I've listened to Andrei and I'm going to take a leap. Even if I fail, I've seen someone who failed multiple times. He's still there. He's still doing it. He's now successful. So what would you say for someone that is really new?
Well, first, it depends. When it comes to money, it depends what you want to do. It depends
Mhm.
on the business that you want to do. Some businesses you can do, I don't know, with just your computer, and try to do a pilot, validate it, have an MCV, let's say.
Mhm.
Uh,
What's an NCV? What's a pilot?
a pilot, you do something that you can test. You can test on a batch of people, on a batch of possible clients, and you see if you have any kind of feedback on that, and you start from there. If you think this is working, you build a minimum viable product, uh, an MVP, uh, and you try to sell that. You don't try to put a lot of stuff on it. You just try to sell the core of your business or your idea. And first, you do it by yourself. You don't need different people. You don't need, I don't know, developers. It depends on the business that you're doing. I don't know. I wouldn't go just for software development or IT startups or stuff like this. It depends. Do a plan. Do the math with a cash flow. See what you would need for 1 year. See if you can get financing.
Mhm.
See how much money you would be able to invest by yourself, try to sell this to angel investors. It depends. Usually, from my point of view, I like bootstraps.
Mm-hmm.
I like to start slow and just build up on that and see how it works. Um, some may be interested in, I don't know, fail fast and move on.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. And then you can get VC money or tech or angel money and or your grandma's money and stuff like this, and you can invest them.
Yeah, it may be easier with the grandma money
Yeah,
if she has a lot of money. How important are finance skills and people skills and sales skills? How important are these three skills when you start a business?
but I think all of them are very important. And if one person doesn't have them all, I think this is why you need partners. This is
Mm-hmm.
why you get different associates that can and co-founders, because you need people that can hit the right mix together. Yes, they are important. Yeah, I think from my point of view, people skills are the most important, because you need to attract people to whatever you're doing. Even if you're selling or trying to attract money, you still need people skills. So I think that's the most important from my point of view.
So if they would have to choose from one of them to start developing, that would be people skills.
Yeah.
Okay, and then have an advisor maybe for finance.
Yeah, or maybe get
And a
somebody
partner
on
for
board that,
sales.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, and actually, this was one of the other requests that I had before, besides change agility, to discuss about the people skills, because they are getting more and more important, especially with the gig economy, especially with people coming out of the corporate world, and more people would like to do that and have a business on their own. So.
Yeah.
I know I advocate for entrepreneurship. What are your thoughts? What would be the pluses that you see in entrepreneurship, and why entrepreneurship versus the corporate world?
For me, it's, I don't know, being, again, like I said, being able to be my own boss, and nobody tells me when and what I have to do. And if I fail because I chose to do something that was wrong, and I'm responsible for this. It, again, it gives you a lot of responsibility, especially when you do have other employees, for instance. You don't need to uh, fuck it up, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes with a lot of satisfaction, because it's yours. You made it, all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it. That's why people get, I think, attached to their businesses, because it is like part of you. It is like family. It is like a child that you are developing, and I think
Yeah.
that's why people get attached and they have hard times giving up. I have one more question, which I think I didn't ask because I didn't hear you say anything about it. And I think one other thing that stops people from relishing in failing and learning and doing it again is family, because they have someone that they need to support, and they are fearful that they will not be able to do that, or they will not be able to contribute to that income. How do you deal
Yeah,
with
that
that?
is true. Well, in my case, having usually, I don't know, two businesses in parallel, it was never usually the case. So I end up bankrupt or stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
So, or having, and this is something that I keep telling people: you work in a corporate environment and you have a daytime job that is, you can still put in a couple of hours a day into your business and see if you can bootstrap it. You don't have to go directly and, I don't know,
Quit.
quit or I don't know, rent an office space, hire 20 people, and you can start slow, do both in parallel as much as you can. And when you are feeling feel comfortable with this, take the leap. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Money is and financial security is it's a big turnoff when it comes to entrepreneurship. Yeah.
It can be, definitely.
Yeah.
From where you are, Andrei, an entrepreneur, you've worked previously in companies, different companies, you had different kinds of businesses, whether it was logistics, IT, cabling, whatever. How do you see the future of work from where you stand?
Okay. I think it's going to be more relaxed.
Okay.
Or at least I hope so.
Okay. I was going to ask, think or hope?
We are more relaxed. I mean, for us, this is okay. We have a policy. We don't care when and if people come to the office, as long as customers are not impacted and the business is not impacted. You can work from home, and you don't have to let me know about this. Or you can take days off as long as you manage to cover this with your colleagues, so everything is still running smoothly. So people do trade-offs like this and they exchange days and stuff like this. And I think it's okay. And when we are hiring people, we tell them, look, we are spending so much time of each day together, so it should be a relaxed environment. It should be okay to come to work, not because you have to come to work, but because it's something that it's not a burden. It's not, you're not doing this just for the money because you need finances to support your life. And again, if somebody is not feeling fully productive in I don't know, let's say in the afternoon, I don't need them to be at the office. Just to be at the office. I don't know, go watch a movie, go into the park, and you'll be much more productive tomorrow. I think the hours that are going to be and the schedule and the work week will be shorter. Or at least I hope so. Again, we are trying to do so much with robots and software robots and automation. It would be a pity to waste so much time working on stuff that can it's not really that efficient.
Yeah, definitely. In some aspects, robots can be more efficient than us, especially in repetitive tasks. So we can have time for doing something different.
Yeah, I was reading somewhere about Kellogg's, the cornflake company. In the Great Recession, I think they switched from 8 hours or 10 hours a day to 6 hours a day, and their productivity decreased only with 6%, which is not proportional with the time involved. And Ford did something like this again with a 3-day working week. Yeah, and it was again they realized that overworking and doesn't increase production.
No, it doesn't. And I think they've done the same in Japan. Yeah, so there are places in which they've tried this, and you do get more creative and you get more efficient if you work a bit less.
Yeah, and people they're getting happier. They get to spend time with their family, with their friends. They get to do something that they like. I mean, their brains will be more efficient the next day than if you put them on overtime.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, there is this ongoing debate whether what do you find as meaningful in life, and is this the job? And of course, the corporations would like you to go that way, right? And everyone is praising that. Yeah, of course, it's not, you're not doing it for money, you're not doing it for anything else, you're doing it for the joy of doing it. And you might even have psychologists who tell you that, yeah, this is the job gives you meaning. For me, it's my life gives me meaning, and then I can find different projects.
I totally agree with you.
I can find different projects except for
something
the actual
from,
work.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that you don't do because you have to work.
Yes. Or stay at work, stay in an office.
Because,
just because
that's the schedule. And
exactly.
you have to be there, or you'll be judged, or I don't know, marked as a low performer or stuff like this, because you're not present at all the meetings that will generate other meetings.
And it's very, very, I think now in Europe, we are going towards this more flexible way of working and the gig economy, and it's pretty much embraced. US, even though they started this, I think they are not as far ahead, and Asia is definitely lagging behind. Asia,
no, I think
is going
from my point of view, US, it's still, they're working their asses off. In an office. In an office, only dreaming of retirement. I mean, that's the mindset. After we retire, then life starts. Come on, I don't want my life to start then. I don't know. Maybe we'll be working until we're 80 from now on. Right? Let's try to live
some would say that we are spoiled in Europe.
Yeah, probably.
So
but again, I found something on this matter. There was Oscar Wilde that said that hard work is like a refuge for the people that don't know what else to do.
Yes.
And come on, that's sad. You must have something else to do than work.
But some people call work, even if they have a project or they do something fun, and they still call it work. So I think there's this concept of forever being engaged in something, forever working, which I think is not,
It doesn't apply to what we were telling about the corporate environment, where
exactly.
Most of the people don't do this because they really enjoy it.
I don't find that they enjoy it.
They end up identifying themselves as their job and their position and their activity.
Yes, that is amazing how many do that. That is incredible. And then it's hard for them to escape, and it's hard for them to move from being an employee to being an entrepreneur, no matter how much they wish for it.
Yeah. Or just taking time off, just going on a sabbatical, and live your life. Do whatever else makes you happy.
So what else do you see for the future of work? So less working hours, more flexible schedules, more time for us to do something different than work and find meaning in something different. Is there anything else that you see from where you sit and with the multitude of people that you're dealing with?
Working from home, it's definitely something that's really catching on. A lot of companies, I see they're doing this. Some of them because it's cool to say that, but that doesn't really happen in all of the companies.
Now they have to do it.
Now they have to do it. I think, this virus implements a lot of good working procedures.
Exactly.
And fast forward. Something else? I don't know. I'm curious when we were talking about automation earlier, and I don't know if and what will happen to a lot of people when their jobs will be redundant. And I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I'm very concerned about the low-skilled people. Then you have cashiers, you have taxi drivers, you have bank tellers, who some of them unfortunately can't even count.
We have a mass of people.
You have and then I think that's where the big issue will be, and that's where the universal income comes in. They need to do
but
something.
that's not really compatible with capitalism.
No. That's most probably why we don't have it yet.
And our world works only on capitalism right now and consumer.
Yes.
If we stop consuming.
Yeah, it's not going to be nice. We're going to see what's going to happen. Unfortunately, we are going to go through this experiment right now. Maybe faster than we wanted with the virus. Let's see. A lot of businesses
I cannot pronounce myself on this.
Yes, I'm kind of curious what's going to happen. What's the next business? And this is my last question. What's the next business? What's the next curiosity that you have?
I have something that I wrote down the business plan 3 years ago. I didn't have time to do it. Last year, I started looking up the suppliers, the chain of supply partners, and something that it's about refurbishing phones. So there's a lot of phones that I don't know end up being sold on eBay and stuff like this. But the problem with people selling the phones to other people is trust, because you don't know what you're buying. So we're trying to build a business of trust. We'll buy the phones, we'll refurbish them, they'll be tested, they'll be repaired, they'll be exchanged. And after that, they'll be sold with warranty and 40-day return policy. If you don't like it, you can bring it back. Is
this a new business model?
No, I think it exists. We're not reinventing the wheel. It's new in Romania. There's nothing at this point.
Okay. Because I was thinking that maybe big companies are doing this as well, but I'm not sure that they provide the same guarantee and then the same return policy, so the same trust that you want to offer.
There's not this model. Yeah, usually they give like 2 weeks or stuff like this.
Something like this.
Yeah. And there's a refurbishing business with a lot of phones that go to the third countries, world countries. We want to do this also here because it works in Europe. It started working in US. So yeah.
Good luck with that.
We need to find people that will be in charge of this.
Good luck.
Yeah, thanks. But I have something else on my plate, in the background. You're telling me.
Okay, so yeah, that's one thing that I think should be understood by everyone. Having a backup plan helps. Yeah. Keeps you creative, keeps you moving forward, because you always have something in the back of your mind.
Yeah. A safety net is always good.
It's always useful.
Yeah.
Andrei, thank you so much for sharing your change experience, what you've been through, your failures, your learnings, so everyone can understand and maybe find it useful and take the leap and become an entrepreneur.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks, and talk soon.
Talking to you. Okay. Bye-bye.
Take care. Have a nice Sunday. Bye.
You too.